Oh, Kisei! You know what? I'm not ready for the regular split to be done just yet. I'm not ready for the last game. We got some housekeeping to do. We got some stuff to do. You want a 1v1?
I do want a 1v1.
All right.
Oh, right now? Right here?
Let's go.
Right now, right here?
Let's go. You, me. Ready? No, not here. In the Rift. In the server, of course. Thanks to Binge, you guys can one-on-one Kitty. You can one-on-one Rusty.
Already broke a nail for this, man.
Make sure your exclamation... What is it? HOTD in the chat. You go in that link, which is lco.gg/HOTD, and you can sign up to one-on-one Rusty or Kitty. You know, if you're lucky, you'll get... Who's worse?
The better player.
We're not going to say who's worse. What I will say is I don't lose 1v1s.
Very true. And if you beat them, then you get a chance to go and play against Midbeast as well. And of course, this is all thanks to Game of Thrones House of the Dragon, which is a new series coming out very shortly. It's the prequel to Game of Thrones, so that's going to be very interesting. Thanks to Binge, at Binge on Twitter, for making all this happen, for making you guys, or giving you the chance to play against some absolute legends of the esport, or at least of the LCO in my heart. Hopefully in your hearts too. Anyway, now I'm happy to start talking about the final game of the regular split. We got Order, we got Mammoth, and let's have a look at Order as well. This team, it's been doing work, and it's sitting pretty in second, isn't it, Rusty?
I'm yawning. They've been doing really well, yeah.
Thanks for that.
I think Order, I can't speak. I've been yawned. I think Order the past couple of weeks have been particularly good. They've kind of slowed down the way that they were playing last week. I want to say were trying to be a little bit more refined, a little bit more methodical about it, but they came in yesterday and just went absolutely crazy. Super aggressive, Pantheon gameplay style, but the real standout for me has been Kisei.
Yeah.
Throughout all of it, he's been crazy.
And that's why he is tied, leading the charge for the Dare MVP scoreboard. Skimmy, tell me about Mammoth, though. What can they do today to pull out all stops, pull out all the creativity? Some little birdie told me that Voice has been playing Vel'Koz ADC.
Oh no, we've gone back to what's happened in the past, right? Where they just spam Carfus in Twitch chat, in interviews, in any form of media that they can get their hands on. They just draft something crazy. I think, what was the last game they played at the end of the final split? It was like a Scion, it was a Trundle, which is Need for Speed, going absolutely down a lane and saying we win this way. I would imagine they probably wouldn't do that against Order. I'd like to see them go out with a final bat to say, look, the game up against Gravitas yesterday, far too close for comfort. Would like to showcase that, look, we have been Kingslayers in our own right this whole year. Yeah. Taking down Pentnet, taking down Peace, if we can challenge Order as well. I think it would be a good year in review.
I think this comes back to what Order was saying yesterday. I think it was BioPanther as well, how he was saying when they verse these teams that are much lower on the scoreboard, they don't seem to have the issues that a couple of the other teams have had. So that's why you've seen, Order go 2-0. Last time they played, I think we tried to spin the same story, right? That Mammoth are definitely in with some crazy shot, but you could see the kills. The difference in kills at the top. Mammoth couldn't find anything in this second game. Order was just, absolutely tearing them a new one. And this is the same moment where we saw Mammoth sort of sitting and scaling in their base and trying to do that, but this time against Order, they just had all the answers and Mammoth were not able to scale. But are we going to expect that to happen today?
It was also when we saw Kisei introduce his crazy LeBlanc on that mid lane, and we do know that LeBlanc received a tiny buff in this current patch, so hopefully we get to see that and Kisei zooms up the MVP Dare list.
He could. He certainly could.
I don't know what sound I just made, but you guys know what I mean.
Do I?
Vroom.
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 There's Direwolves.
Yeah, wrong team. Damn. Almost. Anyway, what sound does a mammoth make, Rusty? Because you said they weren't an elephant, so they must sound different.
I don't know. I can't ask
Don't
one.
they talk-
But you got to come up with one. You're on the
speak
spot.
English in Ice Age?
Yeah, true English. Yeah. Nice.
Hey, she gave you the out. That's the perfect out right there.
Thank you so much.
Kitty, we're trying to be funny. and you just gave him now. Anyway, Kisei, Re-Fury, these two players have been playing immaculately lately, so let's have a look at them head-to-head. Kisei has been carrying, has been popping off, but Re-Fury with a big performance yesterday.
Yeah, Re-Fury, it obviously does look like a very different champion pool in terms of what is their most picked, but the Lissandra in particular for Re-Fury yesterday found the flank angle to get them back into the game. Did a lot of work earlier as well, right? Was getting those solo kills, and it was actually really nice for Mammoth to give them a bit of extra early strength to kind of unleash Mayfun to be more aggressive around the map. And I do think that if they want to find success, they need to shut down Kisei. Because plain and simple, his average CS has been freakishly good. He has been flame horizoning almost every single game. And LeBlanc's been permanently banned from him because he was the only one that played it and he never lost.
Yeah, understandable as well. And 29% average damage share. That is a whole bunch of fun. Beans. I like beans. I also like my friend Corporal, and he's here for the interview. Thanks for saving me, Corporal. How you doing today?
Yeah, no problem. It's great, thanks.
Doing great. Well, it is going to be our last game for regular split 2. So how are you feeling going against Mammoth?
I'm piss vibing because I think
Okay.
I'm just gonna shit on them.
Ooh, some very spicy words coming out of Corporal before we enter into playoffs. Well, before we get into your last game, let's talk about the other teams that have actually secured their places in the standings. So we have PGG, Chiefs, and Dials and Kenga. What do you think is going to be the challenge for you guys as we head into next week very soon?
I think stylistically Pentanet's better than us, better into us than Chiefs. So I'm kind of, I think Pentanet's our biggest hurdle right now, and I think for sure it's just going to be us, Chiefs, and Pentanet at DreamHack. So yeah.
Okay, now quickly talk to me as well about how much Prio's changed on the map objectives in terms of the Herald and the Drakes going into this new patch. You guys in particular, do you feel like you're playing around the objectives more now? You've only had that one day, but do you feel like they're that much more valuable now?
I just think overall it's a healthy change for the game. I don't necessarily think we have way too much more prio on these objectives, but like we can just put one person on the other side of the map and slow give an objective 4v5, and like that's much more viable now because the objectives have like 10k HP. And I think Herald is still the king objective, so I'm pretty sure most teams would just go for both Heralds if they're stronger.
And talking about healthy changes, we've seen a progressive improvement for the overall team of Order, where everyone has been praising Kisei quite a lot. So what has actually clicked in the team for Kisei to suddenly improve this much?
He's just playing better. I don't know.
Okay.
Like he's just on form, I guess. I don't think we've like necessarily done too much like around him. I think we're kind of playing similar. I just think most of us are on form now.
Okay, well, Kisei just finding form when you need it as well, going into playoffs. So can't really complain. Corporal, we'll let you go. Jump on into that lobby, and we'll see you soon in the Rift.
Thank you.
Always good to chat with him. Now, Dare fan vote time. Get those Twitch points in, please, because we got a game to jump on into. Lots of fun. What are you? Are you loving or are you not liking my knee slap?
I'm loving it, bro.
Kitty copied you and then looked at us like that wasn't the same.
I stood up my dress. I'm like, I should probably stop.
Anyway, Twitch points, use them really quickly on the Dare fan vote to change the topic, but also let us know how you think this game is going to go. Now, let's see if anyone's gone for the underdogs, the under mammoths today. No, we're all aligned. And Skimmy's
It's
a
like
loser.
the stars that have aligned for this as well. A lot of stars.
Skimmy, how long are you going to be down the bottom there? Comeback picks, when are they happening?
Not long, trust.
Okay.
I will go 3-2 for every single playoff game, and that's how I'll come back.
3-2. You reckon we're going 5?
I want
Ooh.
5 every time, mate.
Rusty, how are you feeling about that?
I mean, we've both only had 3-0, so I'm good.
Yeah, true. You know, predictions aren't reality. Now, favorite moments from these teams. It's the last time we're going to see Mammoth get to play this split. So any little highlights? Is it just the scaling? Is it Pappy, you know, jumping in, Shyvana 1v5 and then turning things around? What's your favorite?
I mean, that was definitely a highlight. I think for me, it's the fact that Mammoth just like, they are the type of team to commit to a style, but they're also the type of team that'll go out with a bang. So I do think that like yesterday and today's games, you get to see a different brand of Mammoth that is perhaps a little bit more fun for the viewers and doesn't involve level 16 champions.
Okay.
But we will see.
Well, guess what? It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the final damn game of the regular split. Ladies and gents, Champ Select, it's ready. Let's jump into it.
It's so crazy. Really is so crazy to think that 10 weeks have just gone and blown by just like that, that we are really into that final game of the regular split. And a chance now to see really what it does boil down to as Order will deny a lot of those comfort picks.
LeBlanc.
Level 16 KO denied away. Mammoth, surely. They're thinking.
Yeah, they're stuck on this third ban for
There
the
it is.
moment. The Blanc has to be taken away, like we were saying, right? You don't ban that, then I think very easily it is just going to be a Pantheon, LeBlanc angle, or Sinzao, LeBlanc angle, something of the likes, right? Jarvan also has been banned away. Wukong up. So while this talent is being hovered, you're looking at plenty of good jungle options, and priority doesn't need to go towards them, given that they can be traded in the first 3. And instead, Kisei will find the Silas angle. Is it a Refury Renekton? Is Skimmy's dream going to come true?
Oh, please.
I don't know if he does, but we spoke about, and if you, yeah, a little birdie, aka the coach of Mammoth, said that Voice was practicing his Vel'Koz in a custom game prior to this one. It's unlikely that that's where they would go, but that's what the hover's for.
Certainly would.
Bit of lore.
Yeah.
There's some more lore for
And
you.
here's a throwback to Split 1 as well. So we're just, you know, shout outs to all the friends, the family, the far now, as Yasuo and Karthus currently showcase themselves, but it is going to be the center Yas, which is, I suppose, really how Yas came back.
Just wondering what order are going to go for here with their 2-3, right? Because you want to lock in the jungler, but also seeing the bottom lane revealed, you could consider a 2-3 bot lane answer. But I think you want to kind of get this Wukong in as fast as possible, especially because Mammoth are on the red side. They can 3-pick their jungler into bans, or they can 4th-pick their jungler after and have that first choice. So I would like the Wukong and then maybe a support. I think that there's no real necessity to go for a top lane pick unless you're hiding your whole bottom lane, which is possible. But given that it's been revealed on the opposing side, it would be rude to not just pick something. Draven could be good, but Yasuo can obviously remove those axes, so not always great.
Yeah, now Pim's got to decide what does he go for. Literally everything is up and available. A rare chance when not every AD carry has been removed. So decides to settle on the Sivir instead, which I'd say would make sense given that you've got a Silas and a Wukong that just want to press forward.
Absolutely, and I mean, jokes aside for the Vel'Koz, what it does provide is range. So if you're looking to beat the Silas, it can outrange it. We are going to have the Diana.
It's taken us 10 weeks, Rusty.
Backstage, Mac definitely cheering. Listen, Diana Yasuo, fantastic combo. We all know what it does. And actually gives this Yasuo something to work with, other than just being in bottom lane with a Senna. But that is really nice. It is also a jungle champion, not a Gragas top lane, right? To make it very difficult to execute. They've got exactly what they need.
That they certainly do. And it now begs the question, what do Mammoth need to deny away to try and make this Yas-Senna combo, rather this Yasuo and Diana combo work as flawlessly as it could be? They're going to deny away 2 key supports to try and make the Sivir have a slightly harder time. So Yuumi and Renata have been denied to give the Enchanter buff Dream. Order, however, is all about looking to try and shut down tools to allow them to find that engage. So no Sejuani and no Tahm Kench.
Yeah, TK is one of those odd bans as well, right? You could say that it sets up the engage, but it also fits one of those weird buckets of like it'll be Paprise playing top lane, if that were to be the case.
Still send a Tahm Kench bot.
Yeah, I mean, you
Right.
could flex the Yasuo towards a solo lane for sure, right? So it is possible, and I think that might be what Order are definitely respecting. Seraphine is actually going to be the lock-in here, so we'll see actually who gets to play these champions. Last time Ali G was the Seraphine. I think this was actually the big Shyvana game from Paprise.
That's right, yeah.
So they've got the makings of that composition with Refury on the Yasuo, if that's where they want to go. And I think that Biopanther might be keenly aware of that. Acutely aware, in fact. See what he chooses to pick, because do you pick into the Shyvana presumed matchup, or do you take it away?
Yeah, and it feels like this has been a...
Play Zach, bio Zach.
Oh,
why
well,
not?
and he thinks it's OP. I mean,
give it to
he's
him.
one to play it, no doubt about it.
I mean, it's fun, but
covering the Jax right now. This will be exciting. Mammoth's game plan has been for what feels like an eternity now, just always saving that last pick for Pat Price to try and get the counter pick, to try and land that final punch, to give them the edge. It's not going to be a Heimerdinger. That would be funny. But what is his response to this Jax?
Yeah, expecting a top lane answer. I mean, answer in quotes, right? We'll see where he chooses to go. Aatrox is being hovered, Biopanther is giggling. And that is actually going to be locked in. Okay, so mini knockups first of all, if you want to give Yasuo some kind of extra combo there. Yasuo now confirmed to be the mid laner. And Diana going to be moving through the jungle as the AP champion of the team. Jax is such a high variance, high skill top lane champion. It's amazing that we haven't seen more of it sooner. But the blind pick Jax, I don't think that Aatrox does exceptional amounts into it early, but Aatrox tends to scale into the game for like from level 6 to first mythic. Aatrox is really good, and then from like 2 items onwards, Jax is a terror.
Of course.
Right? Always has been, always will be. And I feel like there's that clear trade-off, right, where Mammoth say, this is where we're strong, this is where we're not strong in the 1v1, but can team fight strong. So different phases that they'll have to go through, where Order are just going to get stronger and stronger as time passes. That's just true. Right?
Certainly is.
Sivir, Silas scaling up, Jax scaling up into the game, Nautilus, Wukong, good, reliable, engaged sources. And it definitely does come down to team fights. Doesn't have to be 5v5, but 4v4.
Yeah, and I guess that's going to be the consideration here, as Mammoth will be taking a note out of last night's game, right? That, well, let's just play a combination that allows us to group up as 5, but be strong in its own individual right as well. So I'm intrigued, I suppose, as to how Order respond to this, if they do take them at face value and force the 5v5s and say, we are just better, or if they will to say, hey, at the end of the day, we have a Jax to split push. The Aatrox, if it can't handle it, you're going to have to send multiple members and we just win elsewhere.
And I will say, expect to see perhaps some happy gaming here from both teams. Order definitely want to try and find their form. They said they found their form coming into this, so that's always good to see. But Mammoth, they don't necessarily need form. They just want to go out with a bang.
Sure.
And so we will see just how large the bang is, and if it's just a crash and bang, or if it actually is something monumental against Order and give themselves a last goodbye for the year before playoffs kick off.
Yeah, playoffs not too far away now. And, well, it's really going to be a case of mental form check, if nothing more. These teams getting all the stage experience they can possibly muster. A quick chance to see what works on this new patch in this 1 week of having played it. And a chance to maybe debut a few new picks that you have been scrimming on. And just wanted to see how it fares into a particular scenario. Let's load in then for the final time tonight, as Order will take on Mammoth in that final game of the season. It's an occasion with no real merit in terms of does it affect the standings. It's just there to be a bloody good show. And that's what I'm all about, because we have Ceres on the line, who's all about the entertainment, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. That's why you're here with me. Well, talk to me. Obviously, upper bracket's now secure, which is fantastic. So does that help relieve like a little bit of stress compared to, say, Split 1?
No, honestly, I think we didn't really care whether we play slower bracket or 4th, 5th. It's just irrelevant. As long as we're in playoffs, there was no pressure at all. We're extremely confident going into playoffs last split, and we're exactly the same this split.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I guess you already know now, based on what's happened today, who your opponent will be in Pentanet. So going into this game, has there been any consideration as to debuting a few new picks or trying things out? Or was it just, stick to the script and let's work our magic going into this best of 5s?
No, I mean, this is just business as usual for us, I think. We're obviously going into another new patch going into playoffs, and that'll change a lot of things up, but for the most part, no. We're just coming in, hoping for a nice, quick, clean game.
Oh, fantastic. All right, mate. Well, we'll sign it off there and sign off the season with a bang.
Cheers.
Too easy, short and sweet to talk to the coach of Order. Ceres is a man of few words, but also very good prep come playoffs time is one of the key features as to why they're able to get that win early. And we'll see how this game starts to play out, right? Both junglers now going to be moving on their bottom side of the map. Solo leashlet start. Wraith Fury with a very early push in mid is trying to keep this permanently pushed from the looks of it. He's just queuing off cooldown. This is where Kisei starts to get a little bit more spicy in the lane, has that W if he wants to level it, or the chains if he wants to dodge the tornadoes. Game can start slow, right? The game can start very slow, especially top lane with long cooldowns early. Mid lane can be very, very variable, right? Lots of action can happen. Keep in mind that Refury with his Yasuo has Ignite. So a little bit more kill threat there from the mid laner of Mammoth. But a lot of this game, as we are, of course, in a pause, so we're looking at the players' faces, is around level 6 for me, right? Like, Mammoth want to hit level 6 desperately with their composition. They have a Dyna Yasuo.
Yep.
They have a Seraphine center bot lane as well that just want to scale up, stack those souls, and get into the 5v5 team fights. And the longer the game goes, the more of a meatball composition that Mammoth will really try to be. Seraphine gets more and more value from having 5 people on the same screen for when she uses those heals and uses those shields. But the interesting thing about their composition is that I wouldn't say there is a true tank. I would say there's a lot of off tanks, a lot of bruisers, but no true tanks. So that Seraphine wanting everyone to group up could be counterintuitive into the tank engage that exists and the Sivir that exists in the composition of Order.
Certainly could be, because there's not going to be any major target that can really absorb the brunt of that Ricochet coming on through. We've seen what it's done already all week long. It is very strong. And I guess in a way, Rusty, for me, this feels a little bit poetic for Mammoth, because they came into the split, a hot new team from the amateur scene. Their very first game was, what, a Jarvan Galio? It's all about the one-shot wombo. And now they've got a Diana Yas, which is very similar in that regard to close out the season, as I hold my breath there for just a second, wondering if it was going to be a first blood.
Refury has to base. He is definitely in a lot of trouble. No teleport because he used the Ignite and still lost the trade that badly. Just gets bodied. Wave's going to crash. Mid lane. Really bad situation now for Refury. The cannon wave as well, so misses his third wave of the game. 6 CS Yasuo forced to go back at 3 minutes. You hate to see it.
No, you certainly don't want to see it. 6 CS would rather be that level 6 instead.
Yeah.
But that will obviously take a fair few minutes to try and work its way towards. I'm interested to see how this top lane matchup works, right? You mentioned before that the Aatrox should have the get-go from the very beginning. Obviously a slight healing nerf on this patch, right? Because he has been fairly strong in that regard. Bramble Vest tax has had to usually be paid as a result. Yeah.
I mean, the reality is, right, Aatrox isn't a champion that auto-attacks in the same way that other top laners do, like a Gnar or an Aurelia. So the Counter-Strike loses a bit of value. Same thing with, like, Camille, right? Aatrox uses abilities instead. So by being able to use those Qs, you get to still present as a threat to Jax if the Counter-Strike is up, which is something that helps a lot for the laning phase itself. But at a certain point still, right, the Jax is just going to be too strong, and the Counter-Strike becomes an offensive tool, not a countermeasure. But until that point, expect good things, of course, from Paprise here being able to control him. In saying that, keep in mind that the cooldowns of Aatrox's Q is quite high early. You can't afford to just waste it, or the Jax will still just jump on top of you and take that trade.
Certainly will.
Refury, I mean, if he loses here, this is lights out for mid.
It does certainly feel that way, right? Down such a staggering amount of CS. Pistol Tornado, but Godo jumps forward with the clone. Kisei with the chains, gets denied by the wind wall, but Refury's running out of space to run towards. The vision goes down, the chain goes out, the lash connects, and Kisei says, where are you going? You're on an adventure, and an adventure for my first blood.
Refury actually places a ward to see if he could dash towards the Wolves. There's a chance the Wolves camp would have killed him, but they're not going to be up regardless, so just dies. Now 0-1 with 11 CS. Kisei still with teleport, 28 CS and a free base to his name. I mean, at this point, the Yasuo's purpose in life is just going to press R when Mayfun does. Beyond that, not much else right now. It is a devastating start for the mid laner of Mammoth.
So it'll be an ult bot, or a CC bot rather, than a major damage for it at this point in the game, and we'll be hoping that they can find success elsewhere as we check in with bot lane. And there's going to be a fair bit of respect shown here, obviously, because you are running a very squishy and immobile Senna Seraphine. The Corporal constantly looking to try and wrangle bush control and threaten those dredge lines. Mayfun just on a hunt to try and get level 6 as quickly as possible.
Refury choosing to trade instead of just trying to crash this wave in now finds himself at an impasse. If you want to crash this wave in, you got to go through Kisei. You got a lot of minions on your side and an Ignite. But if those chains connect, I feel like Kisei still wants to take the play. People getting close to level 6. I think Refury is 1 minion away from 5 himself, but Kisei hitting that level 6 power spike. Can actually Yasuo ult and use the last breath of his own chains connecting, so can self-combo in the same way that a Yasuo can. does mean that you can steal that away for dueling in lane.
Well, level 6 has been secured. Every bit of mana expended to guarantee it. He's been afforded the best reset you may just ever see. Able to hold on for that teleport for as long as he likes. Utilize it whenever he needs. In which case, he's going to come straight back to base and abuse this 2-level advantage.
And Cull actually going to be purchased by Puma after his first shop here means that they're very clearly just looking at passively farm and scale. And I think that's just acknowledging that's what bottom lane wants anyway here, right? Between a Senna and a Seraphine, so you may as well. This is really the place to be. Bot constantly trading, constantly fighting, Corporal hooking a wall. Hard to hit hooks against the Boots of Swiftness, but how about Ali G instead?
But he's found one, and there's the Riptide. There's the exhaust and on towards Ali G. You're level 5. Can't land the encore, but thankfully for you don't have to burn that flash. In jumps Mayfun, but Goodo, he's got the knock-up with the Cyclone. That's the Moonfall. Mayfun gets away very, very low on the retreat. And Refury says, I can't help you.
If Refury had the ult combo, that could have been a different skirmish, but at the end of the day, they force the ult out of Mayfun, means they deny the combo as well. That's an exceptional little trade from Order, all things considered. The fight bottom in particular was the biggest win. Oh, this is just so rough.
Just the harass and then the self-sustain as well. It's unbearable.
And you just know at any point there is constant kill threats, so those junglers come into play avidly. And it's not just the top laners. I'm looking at top lane now. Junglers that come into play, it's supports and how they roam around the map together. Biopanther staring down a very serious amount of kill threat with that Sheen Spike. Herald is the place, Kimmy.
There's great timing there from Bio, the awareness, right, to realize, well, my jungler's on this Herald, the wave's going to crash. Do I really get anything from sticking around? Well, we saw that Voice is on the hunt to try and make it a 2v1 underneath that turret. He just turns his attention elsewhere and guarantees they will just be claiming that very first objective on spawn to continue their dominance in all 3 lanes.
Free Herald to be secured. No Drake trade on the other side of the map for what it's worth just yet. Puma fresh on the map, going to place some wards for himself. I'm just going to clear some vision first and foremost here with this control ward. Actually, it's going to be replaced by Voice to deny him. The Voice is rude. And the wave set up perfectly, right? Puma resets, comes back towards bot lane, wave stacked up, building towards him, has the reinforcements on the way of Goodo with the full red side declaring the Drake up. The main purpose here for Mammoth is they want to crash these waves. They want to do the Drake as fast as possible. If they don't do it right now, they lose their window. But it seems like it's going to be free for now. They really ensure it by bringing Paprise down.
Yeah, they certainly do. He's come all the way down bot side, guaranteed there's no contest. Now I'm TPing to a top side wave, which is being held in what appears to be a freeze based on Bio's positioning right now.
No, it's going to stack and build now. I think it was, though. But like there's 6 range minions there, so this is inevitably going to be a large wave. You would realistically, if you're Mammoth, really want your Diana to come up towards you as Refury is copping it.
I mean, look at Kisei's HP bar. It barely moved
Ooh,
for a second there, but it's the last breath. But once again, using that Ignite on cooldown. Kisei running the wrong way. And sidestepping out that Tornado. A flash away from Refury, dodging out the chains as Goodo pops his head into lane. And literally anywhere I look, I'm just constantly expecting action.
Yeah, that was a nice little skirmish, though, from Refury, all things considered. Gordo, however, have got the priority. This is what I was concerned about. If you don't bring Diana up towards this top lane, there was a monster wave that was potentially building. Goodo, with the Cyclone, has got Kisei with the Yasuo ultimate. So anything you can do, I can do better, is kind of the vibe that we're getting from Order's composition here into the Diana Yasuo. Paprise knows that something is up. Kisei reveals himself mid now, however, so does have a bit more safety.
As Refury watches the wave crash before him and wonders, is there a way for me to get a cheeky bit of harass in there as the Silas returns back. And Corporal is on the roam. Goodo with the eye, looking for a position to utilize it, looking for a way to try and crash these waves. Voice really accelerated in this mid wave as well. Wanting to farm up more and more of those Absolution stacks.
It feels like there's a constant transaction here, right? There's a constant person moving up the map, up the river to get something done, and then both Ali G and Puma have just been happily farming bottom. That'll equalize at 1 plate apiece, essentially, down in this bottom lane, just getting those plates when someone else resets. That is just constantly happening back and forth. But Corporal sitting in the bush looking for a hook opportunity. We'll find an opportunity, and we'll be too afraid to take it.
Yeah, don't fancy their chances in this 2v2. With all summoners up and available. A little bit less in the combat summoners, right? Double TP in the bot lane for the Sivir as well as for the Seraphine. Seen a whole host of variations actually from the Sivir, right? We've seen Ghost. If you combine that with the ultimate, you're just running very fast.
Ghost, yeah.
Sometimes you are just running the exhaust, as has been a tradition in the bot lane too.
I think when you're against a Seraphine who you know is going to run teleport, you can kind of match that one. You go Ghost into certain matchups where you need to disengage as fast as possible. We've seen that into like Twitches, etc. Where your goal is just to survive. Paprai is going to get ulted here.
Yep, so he's going to proc the World Ender right now, but his world might be ending around him as two Bruisers look to try and lock him down with infinite CC, but a flash away, and a flash actually being burnt by either party.
Yeah, just Summoner Spell's going to be traded. Jungle Camp's going to be stolen away here by Mayfun, though. Not going to find any Krugs alive, and in fact, will just get spotted on a ward here if he walks through. And so they know that there is a dive risk bottom. Nautilus en route, very far away. Kisei no teleport. But they missed their window to dive.
Yeah, Puma putting a lot of attention towards that wave very quickly, putting that one out.
That was really a dive opportunity, though, for sure. And now look at how far this has just been undone.
And a strike just out of range because of those infernal chains, but it doesn't really matter. Order had his sights set on one thing and one thing only. Take down this turret and utilize the Herald for it. There goes Kisei jumping in with that Moonfall, looking to try and steal it one away. Corporal rocks up to the team fight. Will those AP ratios be enough? He's dashing away! And finally falls down to the Diana.
Feels like finally the combo connects. Looking to dive top lane as well.
Paprai's in a world of pain. Running, hoping, praying, and Gano just gets in one final auto attack. But that Herald found two charges. It may just find two turrets. But Mayfun will have something to say about this. Gano very low. Bio no HP. No mana. He just runs.
Gano stops to hit the turret. No, immediately regrets that decision. He's taken down. So second kill for Mayfun. Thank you very much. The Nush's Tooth completed for this Diana. Curious to see what the second item is going to be. Because you usually, at this point, have seen most Dianas go for the Sunfire Cape.
Sunfire, yeah.
There is always worlds where I think you can go Frostfire, but Sunfire just flatly giving more damage, more DPS is nice, while still providing those tanky stats. And if that were to be the case, that is, as we said in Champion Select, right? Like, Mammoth don't have a dedicated pure tank. They have a lot of bruiser off-tank champions. That means their first item spikes will be DPS. Their second item spikes may be more HP tank oriented. But even after that, you tend to go still towards more damage. So they're going to be very reliant on being strong at their spikes and finding opportunities to fight when they spike. Or they run the risk of like Puma on Sivir having 3 items, one of those is a Last Whisper, and just shredding you all. Same thing with the Jax.
Certainly would be the case. I am curious to that question about itemization. What does he actually go for? If it will still be the Sunfire, or if he just goes back to old Sivir, old Diana, and look at a Rocket Belt. Look to be mobile. Look to go for just a one-shot squishy.
I would say that's pretty illegal this game, but I would like to see it. It's very fun.
Certainly is.
It's probably the most fun of the Diana builds because you always feel like a threat. So yeah, probably going to be the Sunfire. Jack's actually going to translate down towards Drake this time around. Both top laners have had a turn to come towards the Drake. Was Paprise, now is going to be Bio. And actually Kisei going to walk top to make sure that nothing's lost up there. So for the moment, they have swapped their lane assignments. Jax does enjoy a bit of a Yasuo matchup and is working his way towards a Frozen Heart.
Yeah, going to make life very easy for him to try and
we'll get him.
Handle the top half off
Two
this
World
draft.
Enders.
The 2 World Enders. It's the battle of the sustain. It's the battle of the big dogs in the top lane, and there's nobody here to try and back them up. No TP, no gank, no nothing. So it really is just a 1v1 that I am calling in the moment. Who can land the skill shots? Who can live longer? Dawning Shadow, that's cheating! Kissy has no mana, and Paprise doesn't need mana. So they may just walk away and say, fair enough, mate.
Kisei maybe has enough for a W. He did, but beyond that, yeah, look, the fight lasts longer than the mana pool does. And they're just going to both kind of walk it out. And good fight. Thank you for the sparring session.
Firm handshakes all around.
That's it. Strong handshakes and trip back to base apiece. It's also, while we're saying that, going to be a Herald started by order. 5k left on that one. No signs of contest here from Mammoth as they're on the other side of the map. They're still winning overall, but 1v1 skirmish was quite simply a skirmish.
It was. And we are seeing that in terms of power distribution, despite the gold being dead even, it is Order that get all their mythics online far faster than the opposition. Let's check in with what happened in this bot lane meanwhile. What do we got here?
Okay, Corporal just gets caught, but
Good
spell
shield.
shield of the ultimate and a stopwatch there. Hook follows through, but Mayfan is in the area. And quite simply, at this point, right, everything has been expended. We'll just get in, get it done. I think Senna then gets screamed at for an ult top lane at that exact moment, and that's when we cut back to live.
Mayfan's really trying to prove himself in this game, isn't he? He's going to be that Sunfire build, wants to be durable, but wants to be a big carry threat at the same time. The only one on their team with the kills and with a bounty.
Has the Yasuo to combo with him, so it makes sense that he wants to be a tanky member, look for those engage angles, especially when you've got Ali G to follow you up. They really do have an insane teamfight combo if they can make it work. As who dares to venture top lane to take Kisei on in what will be an all-out 1v1 at all times, it seems like. That is Order's mid laner's game plan this game, but has reinforcements this time.
So he does have backup, but Mammoth not
Mammoth
too far
have a
behind.
lot of people here.
Look at the vision they planted down to see where this Wukong is. Instant
Yeah.
moonfall onto Encore, double ultimate. Triple actually, just to remove the Wukong.
I feel like Ali G's ultimate just hit the heavens. It was up with the clouds. Visually, I don't know if that was like a factor in where it aimed, but I feel like it was above where it was meant to go. So nevertheless, they get the pick that they're after. Gudo goes down. Mayfan finally gives over an assist and gives someone else a kill. He's a generous god. And Mammoth will turn that combo into something very effective. Remember that Mammoth, coming into this game, said they would love to get an upset against Order. Prove that they can't, or that they can rather beat more than just two teams in this league. And they're not just going to 3-0 Gravitas and Peace.
Sure.
That they have the makings of a good team in them. Really a resume builder almost for
Absolutely.
their future prospects.
No doubt about it. Look good, showcase what you can do, and how you can handle yourself, how you present yourself with that best foot forward up against some of the bigger and better teams in this league. Hopefully it leads them to greener pastures going into the next year.
But I do want to reiterate my one existing concern is that Puma is farming up a storm. Kisei is farming really well still. And Biopanther, while he has been moving around the map a fair bit to help his team, is still farming quite nicely and is 20 to 30 ahead of Paprise at any one time. They are still scaling into this game. And I do feel like, and maybe this is just my gut feeling, because I know that Mammoth have scaling options in their draft, I do still feel like they want to utilize the item spikes they get at 2 items to try and find a gold lead. Because a Jackson, a Sivir, can be so good beyond that.
Certainly terrified once that point is a mess. As a fight on 2 different fronts, actually 3 different fronts is going to take out right now. Ali G with the encore, but it's a little bit too late. Charms them all, but that's about it. He is dead. But in goes Mayfan with the Moonfall, takes down one, flashing on forward with the Empowered Auto, and a Smite, and gets denied the kill onto the Nautilus, who finally falls on down to the burn of that challenging Smite. So it's a double kill from the Afterlife. It's a flash away, but a flash to follow as Kisei claims more.
And a fight without the Yasuo there. Not exactly sure where Refury was, but if you're going to play the Dyna Yasuo combo, I feel like that's half of the parcel. So that's completely missing. We'll see this one more time. He's in base. Fight breaks out. They look towards Gudo. The hook was really nice from Corporal and positioned perfectly. And they want to disengage to the right. But Mayfan goes in so early, just sees an angle. Biopanther's going to get into the mix, and it is just simply Mammoth choosing, with their mid laner recalling, a 4v5. With half of their combo recalling a 4v5, and would you believe it, they are made to pay the iron price.
Certainly are, but it was a very hard fight for them to try and disengage away from. They took it. 4v5. And potentially they'll be afforded only a handful more opportunities in this game to showcase what they can do once those 2 items are there. Because now the Jax and the Sivir, they have them. It's only going to get worse from here. And especially now that Order are trying to claim control of the map even more. 3 turrets taken down, another Herald, both of them in this game. More angles, more opportunities to try and shut down the combo and prevent the likes of a Yasuo and Diana truly linking up.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the Herald was summoned in base of necessity. I think after that team fight, after reset, or it was going to expire. They break and confirm that turret in mid. They break a turret in top lane as well. Voice is going to miss the light off his Q, so he's not going to be able to slow Biopanther down. The Bio will just get the turret and out in the night. He will disappear and slip into the shadows. Order now just running the map. Only 3,000 gold lead, but it feels much more as Bio. Just going to take them all on.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. Can he 1v3? Wardhop away, pretends to be Lee Sin. Now finds himself his own support play who gets a hook and says, I want to be in amongst that Moonfall as well. So Biodan leaps on top of his head and says, where the rest of my team? Gudo is here. He's pondering, do I engage? Maybe we'll say that's a casualty and we're on the disengage instead.
Every single person in order was just being a Q jump for the Jax. Corporal comes in, uses his ultimate and says, just jump to me. Gudo's on the way. He's like, I mean, you can jump to me if you can make it. But the damage was done by Panther. I think he just assumed that Mammoth wouldn't have stayed as long as they did, but they did. They circled back. Threatening this top lane turret, I think. This wave can be one hit by Gudo. They have to dive.
They certainly would, so that's what they are going to do. Mayfun jumping in without an ult, without a flash, and seemingly no extra charge to try and dash on in. They're going to have to run this one down the hard way, and as much as Voice would have liked it, Mayfun again secures it.
And Gudo now 1-4 on this Wukong. I will say, of all people in this game, he is having a shocker. He's been really kept at bay by Mayfun. 6-1 on the Diner with the Sunfire done. Probably building towards the Zonia's next as well.
It's the 1k LP buff.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
Suddenly the best. Suddenly just goated. But, I mean, in reality, that was Gudo dying to catch a minion wave in the absence of Biopanther, who tried to take those fights on, right? Got picked out by 3 people. Kind of like the snowballing effect of kill after kill after kill. And this is Mammoth using their strength, right? Using their Diner to find further kills, find further opportunities and advantages. Hasn't resulted in a team play yet. Fury still stuck in side lanes without teleport. But they've got themselves a big Diana to work with. However, they've got an even larger Sivir to contend with, who admittedly has been unleashed the past 5 minutes of this game. Jungle camps, minion waves, monsters, creeps, everything. Everything is Puma. It is one hitting them all. Sivir's rushed an Infinity Edge third. Unstoppable. Your chickens, my chickens.
Feels very much like head down, don't look at me, don't pan the camera in my direction, because I am just playing Farming Simulator. Getting incredibly strong. Looking to try and break his own record as to how much CS. You praise how Kisei's been the best farmer in this entire league. But he wants to showcase that those records can do that just the same as well. Mayfun lands a devastating moonfall onto literally everybody. The encore goes out, but the war of attrition is not being won here by Mammoth. Voice forced to peel away, goes one direction, as does Ali G. For Order, cop the moonfall, but they just win.
Mammoth? Yeah, I mean, observers are saying what I was about to say. It's like the relentless need to 4v5 without their Yasuo baffles me. Again, I'm not saying it's all of Mammoth's fault. Maybe it's Fury, maybe it's the whole team. I don't know what is going on in their comms. Their Yasuo is stuck in a side lane, and they're choosing to fight their way out of every situation 4v5, because guess what? One of them has teleport, and this isn't even a teleport. This is them here in the area on vision, and they choose to take the play. When's that ever going to work? You hit a great combo. Pamprise hits a Q3 onto 4 people. Diana hits a massive ultimate, pulls them all in. They don't have the combo, so they are just dreaming.
So it seems to be the case here, as Fury appears to be rushing his way towards a Sunfire as well. What seemed to be the obvious choice, given that it's the Blade of the Rune King as the first item, and may just be mentioning in chat, hey, look, I don't want to group up until I've got that second item of Spike myself. And I guess it just circles back to how rough that laning phase was, but that's what he sacrificed, right? He spent so much time on an island to try and catch up with Kisei.
It's not like Paprise is winning in a side lane either, right? Like the reality is that I think they put Fury on a weak side to farm because Order aren't playing around the weak side of the map at all. But this means that Paprise has suffered, right? He's effectively out of the game in terms of damage that he's doing. But still, there's no time like the present to bring Fury into the play, or you are definitely just losing this game. And it is getting out of your hands very quickly as another turret drops. And finally, Fury is grouped up.
Well, those last 2 team fights have built the gold lead to 6k now in favor here off the side of Order. Paprise jumps on in, but the board trinket is not enough. That is the combo, that is the encore, that is the follow-up, and that is the damage that Mammoth are struggling to find. Refury, without any tools to do much more than just that, will just be a sitting duck as Order look to get the ace, and that hook was illegal.
That hook was, that actually curved at the end on a 90-degree angle and just like magnetized onto him. Heat Seekers from Corporal, teamfight victory once again from Order. Very simple stuff for them, right? And that team fight was a little bit of a too little too late scenario. They get into the mix, and while they hit a combo, just acknowledge how much of the health of Mammoth is missing at the time of this trade starting, right? Half health already gone from the Diana. That's not going to be DPS. 90% of his health gone by the time he got the ultimate off. Stopwatch used by Puma, just going to flash himself out to safety. And really, this is one of those moments where the Seraphine, I hate that hook, where the Seraphine can't do much for the team fight because Mammoth don't choose the fight on their terms, right? They face check, they lose the trade, and then they're forced into the fight. I feel like that's happened 3 times now.
Yeah, it certainly does feel like the definition of insanity. Things are just going on and on in the very same pattern. But Biopanther will not mind. He picked up a quadra kill on that occasion. Straight back to base, more tanky items required. You can't kill him, you can't touch him, but he will certainly battle you down.
You can take him off the tanky champions, but you cannot take him off being a tank. Biopanther locking down 2 straight up tank items, looking for a Death's Dance from the looks of it as his 4th. Also plenty of beefy champions. You know, with Bruiser builds, a Divine Sundra could realistically be all you need, and then you just go tank items to you will out trade them at every single time. Same thing with the Wukong here for Goodo. So much health back from that into all of the health stacking bruisers on the side of Mammoth, and that's really what they are, health stacking bruisers. And now they are also 9,000 gold behind.
Here we go, it's the hard force from Mayfarn. They jump in, they tried to catch Puma, but he didn't even have flash. He literally just ult spell shielded away. Sidesteps out the Encore, sidesteps also the Dawning Shadow. Refury is running out of minions to dash away to, and ultimately his life will expire at the hands of a Ricochet. That is another ace, back to back, as it's now Puma's time to get the triple kill.
Super clean ace from Order this time around. Puma, that spell shield was absolutely bonkers. The fact that he found that on the timing that he did recognize that it was a desperate dash forwards by Mayfarn. They have the minion wave skimmy, and they're looking to wrap this one up.
Well, that'll do it on the night. The LCO regular season comes to a conclusion as Order finish things out here at 28 minutes.
Bit of a tragic one from Mammoth when it comes to it, right? I like the idea in their combo. I like the composition. But still, when it came to crunch, they didn't find the execution that they needed. Order in the ramp up to playoffs, still looking like a clean team, still looking like they can weather any storm. And only the smallest of mistakes really here and there from them. But when all said and done, Order were very clearly the better team and super ready for those playoffs.
That they certainly were. And Mac, are you ready for playoffs? What are you up to, mate?
I'm looking for Refury. He wasn't there every big Diana ult that Mayfarn hit. I can't find him. Where was he?
Side lane.
Oh, damn.
I didn't know where you were going with that at all.
Well, now you do. I was so pumped because I know I had a look at Mayfarn's OPGG the other day because he's been climbing. Man's been playing a lot of Diana, and when I saw it get locked in, I got, whew, my whistle started getting a little bit wet, and that was when I was like, oh, the Yasuo, oh my god, this combo is going to be insane! And then we got to see it a little bit too late, when Bio was huge, when Order had already bought all their items, and things just didn't go right for Mammoth. I was really on that underdog Mammoth winning train. It just didn't quite happen. But look, quick shout out to Mayfarn for having what I would say is his best game this split. But Order, of course, they just won.
Yeah, they did just win, but I think they were quite even in that early game where the crucial mistake at top red buff made the entire game flip over for Mammoth because Yasuo just wasn't there and was CSing in the side lane. So maybe there was miscommunication, maybe it was just an impulsive fight where they didn't know they were missing a person. So it's really big shame from Mammoth because I think they really had a chance to win this game. But looking at Order's picks, they have a Sivir into a scaling bot lane with no kill threat. So it's like the perfect lane as Sivir because you get that 10 CS per minute. I believe he was 280 CS at 23 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was well up
an
above
absolute insane amount of CS. With Kisei once again on the Sylas, where I believe Sylas here is a really good pick into the Diana and Seraphine, a really natural counter because you have some really great engage ultis and just...
How good.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the Yasuo building Sunfire once again, but I think he needs more damage. Looking at that bowling, maybe that's just a personal opinion, but I think in these team fights they were just lacking that something that were just so close to killing them, but they couldn't get there.
Yeah, and a relatively close game up until that 20-minute mark as well. So Mammoth proving that they can take down some of the big dogs, but unfortunately today was not the day.
It was not the day, but it is the day where Order secure second officially up against PGG in that upper bracket for playoffs, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah, keen to see what they're going to be able to do towards playoffs. And that was Mammoth's last performance this split as well. And I feel like that was a decent performance to go out on. Unfortunately, some things didn't go maybe as planned. But other than that, everyone on the team did a decent amount of damage. And Kisei, Puma, both having scorches there, mid lane and bot lane. And you couldn't really fault him. Puma was so fed. The man was literally jumping between lanes, getting all the farm, then taking blue buffs, taking red buffs, you name it. He was bloody gobbling it up.
330 CS at 27 minutes was my last check-in on it, which is kind of insane.
I think he had a bit of a Menulog mealtime in-game though, Mac.
I reckon
Because he was just...
hungry.
Good as camp.
3
Good old dead.
courses on the main, 6 courses on the dessert. Man was bloody hungry today. Bio, you're here, aren't you? What do you usually order for dessert?
For dessert, I usually like lemon meringue,
Ooh, fancy.
like sorbet, like those are my type of things. Yeah, but yeah.
Settle down, Mr. Fancy. Congratulations on the win. Going into
you so
playoffs
much.
now, you've secured that second position. How's it feel knowing that you've got that second opportunity running into playoffs in case things don't go right?
I think this feels much more like less pressuring, but I feel like right now we're kind of hitting our stride, which is very like comforting as a player because I feel like, you know, we've been having some off games throughout the split, so like this is our times to like actually show our pure skill. So I'm just excited to play playoffs, honestly.
And we all know that Order has always been that best of 5 team, and we are just around the corner for playoffs. So you guys are going against PGG for this upper bracket. So what are we looking at for next week?
Renekton Italy and some Graves from Volcan and maybe some more Renekton Italy. Like how Predator was talking about, they want to play for early game, and I feel like they're just sinners. They will sin, and if they don't like get ahead in like the first 5 minutes, they'll lose the game. They're a bad team. I just have to say it. They're bad, and if we lose them, like it'll be a disgrace to me. So, yeah.
I love a little bit of spicy shit talk going into playoffs. But look, anything you want to say as well to your fans, because that was a performance. How's Jax feel? You know, you got a Jax game in there. You're just hitting things non-stop that game.
Yeah, I always just choose what's the best pick on the draft. Like, all their champs got countered by Jax, and whatever top lane champ they needed to pick, it would just like I guess hurt their own comp. So I was just like, I can just pick Jax for free. Even if he picks a counter matchup like Kennen or Aatrox or Kali, like their team comp will literally not like function properly. So I just felt like it was super free. I feel like very comfortable when I get to be able to play these carry champs and like diverse my pool instead of just playing all in every game. So I don't know, it's just fun to play different champs sometimes.
And Bio, we are about to give the Dare MVP to a certain someone. So do you have any input for this? Because everyone had a really good game coming out of Order tonight.
At the start of the game, we really wanted Kisei to get it because he really wanted to flex that he had the most MVPs or something like that. So honestly, I would give it to him. Like, even though I got a quadra kill and he stole my penta, like I think he still out damaged me. So it's kind of worth.
Ooh, I don't know if I feel sold on that one.
A stinky penta stealer, I see.
Again, I swear that's not the first time. Either way, Bio, we'll let you go. We'll see you next week once it's playoffs time.
No, thank you so much, King.
Oh,
I don't have my crown today, but I could steal his. Should I?
Bio's MVP now
No.
because he said king, right? That's how that works.
Yes,
For
yeah.
Mac. That's how that works for Mac.
Is Bio MVP?
No.
Oh, sure.
I would give it to Puma,
Yeah, I think
personally.
I think
He was
Bio's the
very cracked
MVP.
on that server.
I think Bio's the MVP.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's Puma though.
Yeah, it's crazy. That
Yeah,
Puma.
it's
What about you,
crazy
Kitty?
that
You on the
it's
Puma
Puma.
train?
I'm
or you on
kind
the
of
Bio
tied
train?
between Kissy and Puma because I think... But Puma CS though, sheep! Sorry.
I think for like somehow just saying CS sets you off. Somehow I think the spell shields alone were reason enough.
New emote.
I think it was the sheesh more than the CS, but at the same time, I'm on that train. Sorry, Kisei. is Puma today. Their MVP for the final game of the final day of the regular split is the big man down bot who's put in so much work for Order this split. 6-0 and 10, a big game on the Siva. Spell shields out the bloody wazoo, 28% of the damage share, and just doing work. And look, 28% of the gold share. I honestly thought it'd be higher than that, considering how high his CS was.
He was gobbling up those camps like you guys were saying before, so really started to ramp up in his gold share as the game progressed, but did really well. And again, like his spell shields throughout the entire game were actually perfect. You can't fault him much, sometimes even saving Corporal's life by tanking center Ws. So it was definitely a large part of the success of Order in this game.
Certainly was. Now, that is that for all the games, all the fun, but not all the action. It's time for play of the day. Any contenders from YouTube, or did you check the Discord?
Skimmy, say the word.
Fish?
No, the T word.
He doesn't know the
From
word.
a Shen?
That's a good T word.
That's a great
That's
T-word
a good T word
right now, isn't it?
What else is there?
It hurts. It hurts.
Tiki Tour?
Tiki Toa?
I don't know if you're trolling.
No.
Tango?
It's a player.
Top!
There it is. Beautiful. We got the play of the day here. It was Tapoon with a beautiful ult to save the day for Chiefs when things started to maybe not go their way. Big performance coming out of a couple of the Kanga members. But as soon as this man hits Mega, watch this ult coming in from the back lines. He sees it. He jumps it. Liv tries as hard as he can to stop it. But there's that 4-man smack into the wall. Oh, big performance from him. Could you say a triple, a quadre, or because it turned into
A
one?
double,
Or
a triple,
actually it didn't.
It turned into a double.
A double.
A quadrille stunne?
This man is so good at Gnar,
That sounds
man.
awful. I'm sorry, Jubes.
God damn, I'm so jealous.
Is Jupes coming to LCO DreamHack Final? I don't think he is. I wish he was. He
I
is.
wish.
We need to get Debs onto him.
We need a live performance of
Debs,
I do
get
it all
Juice
day.
here. We miss him.
Quickly, don't take away from the moment. That's when you say Tapoon, excuse me. That's when you said it live.
Topoon! Topoon!
Yeah, no, but louder.
And we're going to do it at DreamHack. We're doing it
We've
live.
got the clip, mate. We got the clip.
I
We're
want
doing it live. I'm
it
so
now,
excited
man.
to see thousands of people cheer that.
It's my favourite word. I just
Goosebumps.
wanted it now. No, well, that's it for the play of the day. Standings time. Let's bring up where everyone is at the end of the regular season. We've all played 21 games, and this is where we're sitting and looking real pretty too. At the top there, Chiefs, of course, did it today. The 21-0 perfect split. The first time in Oceanic history going so damn clean, even if they were a little bit unhappy with how that final game went. Order sitting in second, 14-7, who will be going up against Pentanet in third in that playoffs bracket. Pentanet going 13-8, not too bad considering how the split started. Direwolves as well started really strong and still managed to maintain playoffs position here in fourth place, 11-10. And Kanga couldn't stay positive in the win rate without that win over Chiefs today, but still a late split resurgence has taken them into playoffs for the first time.
Yeah, is the first split or is it the second split?
A second split now.
Second split.
The splits are melding together to me, but yes, it is the first time that we'll get to see them in playoffs with a miracle run, to say the least.
Yeah, it really is. And another quick goodbye to Peace, to Mammoth, and to Gravitas. You all played really damn well, and you showed what you were capable of. So we'll see you next year, hopefully, unless we get some bloody org swaps. Who knows? We had it with Legacy and Kanga. Let's have a look at the playoffs bracket as well. Here it is. Chiefs skipping bloody leg day there. Skipping the first whole damn week. Oh my God. Monday and Tuesday next week are going to be spicy. Kicking things off with the upper bracket match, so we won't be saying goodbye to anyone on day number 1 next week. Order and PGG. What a match that's going to be. All of these, of course, are best of 5s. So 3 games at the minimum. It's going to be a fun time. Tuesday, Direwolves up against Kanga. Who knows how that one's going to go, because we haven't seen these teams go head-to-head in a best of 5 yet, so it's going to be a very interesting affair.
It is going to be a banger for both days because everyone's been saying they are a best of 5 team, and this is where they prove it to us, which is going to be next week. And whoever wins the upper bracket does get a chance up against the Chiefs, and whoever gets that is going to be live at DreamHack. So we will see you all there, and all the fans, and we will all slap your knees.
Yes.
That's a great way to
You'll
end the
slap our
sentence,
knees.
eh?
I will
We'll
not
slap
be
your
slapping
knees.
knees.
Why will you not be slapping knees? That's just not partaking in the fun. But yes, as Kitty said, whoever wins next
work out
Monday
the fun.
gets to go to DreamHack because we'll see how they go against the Chiefs in a best of 5. And I just really don't want to say goodbye to any more teams, but we're going to have to do that next week on the Tuesday as well. Skimmy, which one of those games next week is going to be the better game? Because I feel like they're both scorchers.
I'm looking at the upper bracket personally. I think Order and Pentanet really are both hitting their perfect stride right now. That really feels to me like a bit of a coin flip for sure. That's when both coaches are going to get to really showcase all the brilliance, what they've learned from this lesson of these patch changes and what's worked from scrims, what hasn't. But now coming into this one, who can flex the better might of the better prep?
Well, that's it. 21 games, 21 days of fun. Regular split done and bloody dusted. Slap a couple of knees here. Slap those knees quick. Rusty, of course, not going to slap any knees. Anyway, that's us done here on the LCO for week 10. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week for a big couple of best of 5s in the LCO delivered by Menulog playoffs. See you then.
See if we can get it, because that is a bit of CC coming out right now from the Ari. The charm goes out, the hook misses, the bubble only knocks
Yuri.
off the Renekton. Yuri on the flank, instant flash away, depth charge gets claimed, but Dante is still going to get knocked off. He's out the fight right now. He just gets taken down by the Ricochet, Rusty. Look at their health bars. This Sivir was behind 40 CS. Was not a condition, was not a problem, but now rocks up to the major big team fight and has just picked up a triple kill. He dashes in with the propose, preemptively expecting that condemn. Darshan said, you know what, I'm going to go and just blast code in here. Here's the Requiem from the bottom of the ladder, and they come in looking to try and pant these members low. Appy gets one, he's looking for a second, and he will find it. Appy, surely, you just keep beating the minion.
Lisa has to tank both turrets
There
again.
it
Oh, yeah,
is.
they teleport to the minion. They look at
He did it to the minion.
the savior of peace. It's 1 million minions.
Hostile takeover once again comes across, only hits onto 2 members. The fight breaks out. Liv looking for that initial target. It's going to come down to a smite steal right now. Arthur, can he look to try and steal this one away? Jumps in
He
and
gets it.
steals the Elder Rusty. Chiefs are just from a different cloth. They are unbelievable with the ace. Well, his last 2 team fights have built the gold lead to 6k now in favor here off the side of Order. Paprice jumps on him.
There's the
forward
combo.
trinket is not enough. That is the combo. That is the encore. That is the follow-up. And that is the damage that Mammoth are struggling to find. Fury, without any tools to do much more than just that, will just be a sitting duck as Order look to get the ace. And that hook was illegal.
Hey, look, menu pong.
This support's actually kind of mean, and it's kind of good. So maybe if he does come in as the support, he will do a little bit better than what we've been seeing from Gunkrab? Question mark?
Oh! Sorry, I did leg day the other day and
Wow.
I'm really...
That was like a...
yeah.
Yeah, cool story, Kitty.
I'm not good.
Actually,
I'm horrible.
Actually.
I'm horrible. But now, I'm good, baby.